anyways, interesting development. I'll talk more about that if I get time later on. But I got to move on. Go ahead and move over to my first guest, Malcolm Tennant, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Access Reverse Mortgage, where since 2005 has overseen the funding of more than 1,000 reverse mortgages. Malcolm is a member of the Pinellas Realtor Organization and an affiliate member of the Area Agency on Aging's Better Living for Seniors, as well as the Financial Planners Association and Florida Associations of Mortgage Professionals. Malcolm, how are you doing today?
Feeling great today, Jamie. Very blessed. I spent 5 hours on Saturday with two of my grandkids at Busch Gardens, so lots of exercise.
Oh, very good. So tell us a little bit more about your company, Access Reverse, and what's new in the industry right now.
Sure. We're a very unique company. We're strictly reverse mortgage. That's all we do. We're based in Florida, which is very unusual for our industry as well. Our offices, we've been in the same location almost 10 years now, across from Tyrone Mall in St. Petersburg. We're a family-owned business. My wife owns the company. I'm one of the co-founders. My two sons work with me, and then we've got about a dozen reps around the state of Florida. On top of that, they're not all family members. But for the first 6 months of this year, according to FHA statistics, Access Reverse Mortgage produced more reverse mortgages in the state of Florida than any other company. So we're proud of that.
Well, congratulations. Now, there's a lot of myths and a lot of misinformation out there in this business with regard to reverse mortgages. Let's start off by explaining to the audience, what is a reverse mortgage first of all?
Sure. Reverse mortgage is very simple. It's exactly like any other mortgage. People way overcomplicate how these things work. You're going to borrow money. You'll get a statement in the mail each month, just like you do with any mortgage. It will tell you how much you owe and how much interest was charged the months before. Unlike a traditional mortgage, you have no obligation to make a payment when you get that statement. So,
so no obligation to make a payment. So first, do you have to own your home outright to get a reverse mortgage, or no?
No more than with a traditional mortgage. So you can have a free and clear house and get income or lump sum or a line of credit, or you can, if you have an existing mortgage, we're going to pay that off, and you may have, depending on the figures, still access to additional funds above that. But no, it does not have to be free and clear.
Okay, now these mortgages are government insured. This is a division of the FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, and this program came into play, I think, back in the 80s under Ronald Reagan, correct?
That's right, 1988. And FHA guarantees two things. They guarantee that when the time comes to sell the house, and that might be in 5 years because the borrower decides to move, and they would pay off the reverse mortgage just like with any other mortgage. Or it might be in 25 years, and now the heirs are dealing with typically they'll want to sell the house. They don't have to, but when that day comes, if there's more owing on the reverse mortgage than what the property is worth, which hopefully won't happen, but did just happen 5 years ago, when that day comes, FHA would step in and pay the shortfall. Okay. So it's a non-recourse mortgage.
And there's a lot of common myths out there, and one of the biggest is that the government can come and take your home. Where does this come from, and kind of put this at ease for listeners?
There is a lot of misinformation out there on that. The issue of staying in the house, I mean, it's a lifetime contract. Once you do a reverse mortgage, it is for life. And there's very few circumstances under which you can be forced to leave the house. And that would be if you don't pay your property taxes and insurance, if you don't maintain the house. I mean, if it gets condemned, they're going to foreclose on you. Those are really the main things. I mean, you can't sell the house and still keep the loan, obviously, just the basic things. But really, you pay your taxes and insurance, and you maintain the house, and you're there for life.
Okay. Yeah, I know there's been some articles in the paper where they talk about, so-and-so losing their home. But if you read the article, it's because of stuff that you just mentioned. They didn't pay their property taxes, or they didn't pay their homeowner's insurance. And so there's a negative connotation associated with the article that really shouldn't be there, because the borrower is not, living up to their most basic, obligations, which is, taxes and insurance, just as you just mentioned. What are some of the, recent developments in the industry? I know you said there are some changes coming up here in the business.
Well, on that topic, as far as people being forced to leave the house, there was a problem with some overly aggressive lenders would perhaps encourage a younger spouse to come off the deed so they could get more money, and then if the older spouse predeceased them, then there was an issue that the younger spouse then could be forced to leave the house, to sell the house. They've changed that August 4th now. The younger spouse can stay on the deed down to age 18. I mentioned that.
Yeah, I think
before.
you mentioned that before. I tell you, if you ever get a situation where you got a senior with an 18-year-old husband or wife, let me know. That's definitely a topic for the show.
So they made that change August 4th. So that issue is gone now. There's no problem there. But what we have coming up, there's two things. December 15th, there's one change. It's not going to affect that many people, but it's kind of a quirky thing they sprung on us really without warning. If somebody's got a new mortgage in the last year and taken more than $500 cash out in the last year, they're not going to be eligible for a reverse mortgage until a year has passed. And so that will affect some people dramatically, but not very many people. The big changes are coming March 2nd.
Okay.
And we're going to have, for the first time in the reverse mortgage industry, what they call financial assessment. And borrowers will be subject to a credit and income assessment prior to obtaining a reverse mortgage.
Did they not have to have a credit assessment prior to this new regulation?
No, from now until March 2nd, it's pretty much wide open.
Okay.
There are a few things, pretty drastic credit situations, but for the most part, anybody can get a reverse mortgage now as long as they're 62 or over.
Is there any explanations as of why it looks like it's becoming a little bit more strict to get a reverse mortgage?
There was a small problem that got a lot of press with people taking all the money up front and then not paying their taxes, insurance, even the first year.
So it comes back to the taxes
Just
and insurance
defaulting.
again.
FHA, and combine that with the market crash, FHA took some losses. Overall, they've made a lot of money on this program, but recently they...
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got to take a quick break here, but coming back from the break, I want to talk with Malcolm here just a little bit more. We're going to talk about the reverse mortgage for purchase program. You can actually use reverse mortgages to purchase a home. So please stay tuned. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ.
Jamie Meloni. Now, here's Jamie.
Welcome back once again to the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. If you're finding my show on the air for the first time, I invite you to tune in every Mondays at noon as my show aims to become your information source for the Tampa Bay real estate market. Currently talking with Malcolm Tennant, COO of Reverse Mortgage, about reverse mortgages here. And we're talking about some of these new regulations that are coming out in this marketplace. So let's continue a little bit more about this new financial assessment that borrowers are going to be put under as of the next, I think you said March 2nd, was it?
Yes, that's right, JV. What I would encourage anybody who's considering a reverse mortgage to do is call us or research. We're happy to go through the new qualifications, see if you're going to be affected by the rules, because a lot of people who will want reverse mortgages are not going to be able to get them in the future. The rules are not that bad to deal with, but we can tell you if you have a timing issue or not, whether you have to hurry it up or if time's not an issue for you.
Do you know what the minimum credit score they're looking for is going to be yet?
No minimum credit score. They're going to look at if people have significant credit hits, primarily such as bankruptcy the last 10 years, foreclosure the last 7 years, history of late payment of taxes and insurance. Regular trade payments being late won't be a big issue, but those specific things will be.
So what you're saying is, remember the client I had referred to you? He probably wouldn't be able to do a reverse mortgage anymore after March the 2nd?
Yeah, as long as we get it in process by the end of February, we'll be okay. But yes, there's a lot of people like that client. That's exactly right.
Okay, so if you're out there listening right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much his only way right now to own a property. So I'm getting concerned with that, and I'm going to talk to him.
And let's talk real quick. Your reverse mortgage for purchase program. I know you promote that a lot. How can people use reverse mortgages to purchase their homes?
Well, it's something a lot of people don't really grasp, that there's a specific program that if, let's say you've got $100,000, you're 62 years old or over, and you want to get a home to live in with no mortgage payment. So you can buy a $100,000 house, excuse me, or you can use a reverse mortgage and buy maybe a $200,000 house or $225,000 house. So you're basically just buying a house with a mortgage, with a reverse mortgage, and putting down a big down payment. But now you've got a house you can live in the rest of your life and never make a mortgage payment.
And I know we talk about this a lot on this show, but it's really something a lot of people aren't familiar with out there in the real estate marketplace, correct?
That's right. We've done I think 6 seminars at the Pinellas Realtor Organization this year, specifically on that subject, to update realtors on how they work. We've got one today, actually, later.
Oh, very interesting. Well, I got to wrap it up with Malcolm, but as always, thank you very much for coming in the studio, and give a quick promo for your site and how people can get in touch with you.
Sure. Easiest way is call us at 727-347-0305, 727-347-0305, or our website is accessreversemortgage.com.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Malcolm, thank you very much for coming in the studio. As always, pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Jamie.
And if you didn't catch this information, you can just head over to my website, tampabayradio.com, where you can find him on the Expert Contributors tab. Just, again, head over to tampabayradio.com and click on Expert Contributors, and you'll see Malcolm Tennant of Access Reverse Mortgage as well. Highly recommended by the Jamie Meloni Real Estate Show.